Hi, everyone, and welcome to Live at 5. I am Pat Finn, your host, and I am a working actor in Chicago, Illinois. I've been there short, Chicago, St. Joe's Parish, so gentler. And I'm out here in Los Angeles now with my wife and 3 kids. And I've been in a lot of sitcoms, Seinfeld, Friends, Curb Your Enthusiasm, The Middle, as well as a lot of Disney movies and a Nickelodeon TV show, as well as a bunch of movies. So I'm happy to be here, a part of all this. And my mom is listening, so shout out to Betty Finn and my 2nd grade teacher, Donna Fugazato from St. Joe's. So if anybody asks me my state capitals, I hope I know them. But before we start anything, I'd like to introduce Ryan Mascilak, who is a trained musician from the Berklee College of Music. So take it away, Ryan.
Thank you, Pat. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Ave, Ave Dominus, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Jesus. Ave Maria.
Wow. That's, yeah, right there.
Great job.
Honestly, the first line of that, I got goosebumps. It's just the one song, it's guaranteed. And it's my wife's favorite song. So thank you for that, Ryan. That was just awesome. Really, really cool. Okay, let's thank our sponsors today, Catholic Laughter. There you go. As well as Improv+Ability and Catholic People. So welcome. And let's talk about meeting the people joining us today on Live at 5. We've got children's book author Maria Riley. We've got Scott Vinci, comedian, Catholic's Laughter, along with Carl Kozlowski. So let's meet these people. How about Maria? Let's start with you. Ladies first, if you will. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, so my name is Maria, and I am a Catholic mom. I had been a stay-at-home mom since my oldest was born, and a couple years ago, I got the inspiration to start writing when I was looking for some books for my kids, and I couldn't find what I was looking for, and the Holy Spirit told me that was because I was supposed to be the one to write them. And so I have a children's chapter book series called Adventures with the Saints. It's got time-traveling kids who encounter a kid-sized problem. They time travel, meet a saint, learn a lesson, and come back and apply it to their life. So that's what I do.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank
Now
you.
I'm kind of mad I didn't have those when I was a kid. Scott, tell us about yourself, buddy.
Hi, I'm Scott Vinci. I'm co-founder of CatholicLaughter.com. Check us out. Basically, I'm an actor and a stand-up comedian. I live in Los Angeles. I've been doing stand-up over 10 years. And through Carl, my co-founder, we decided to start a it's like a live stand-up comedy show for churches, fundraisers, Catholic events, non-Catholic events all over the United States. So that's what we're doing now. We lost Carl due to technical difficulties, so hopefully he'll be back. But if not, I'll tell you more about Catholic Laughter as we go. CatholicLaughter.com.
You've got a joke about it now. See?
Yeah.
It's a write-off.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, very cool. Very cool. And Ryan?
Yeah, so I'm a full-time musician. I'm a full-time music and choir director, and primarily a composer, published with Catholic music publishers, and that's been one of my greatest joys. And I also host, I lead religious retreats, and I host pilgrimages, and I'm actually hosting one this November to Italy for 11 days.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. My mom always says, if you go to Rome, every mass counts as two. So I don't know if that's true or not, but she goes every day. So I'm going to believe her. And I'm Pat Finn, and I just told you a little bit about me as an actor. And I also have a company called Improv+Ability that brings the tenets and principles of improv to businesses, not the comedy side so much, like whose line is it anyways, but more just the idea of saying yes to things you normally wouldn't, and building teamwork and the ability to listen better and adapt to things. And it's done through games and stories and lessons. And we've got clients all over the country, and it's been a really cool thing. I actually started with schools and inner city kids to help out, because it's kind of a universal thing. You could be tall, short, black, white, doesn't matter. With improv, everybody's equal. You trust and support everybody. Your job is to make them look good, and if that's true, then they make you look good, which is really cool. So I have done a lot of work with schools and businesses throughout the country. So check us out at Improv+Ability.com. All right, and with that, let's dive in with some questions and talk a little bit. Let's get to know these guys a little bit more. Scott, I'm going to you first.
Okay, sounds good.
And this question's for Carl. I'm kidding.
I'll try to answer my best.
What's your favorite lunch? Tell me, because
green sandwich.
I primarily came up in the world of improvisation with the Second City and the Improv Olympic, but I've done stand-up for charities if I have to, but I'm so in awe of it as an art form and entertainment form. How did you get started or hooked into it?
Well, I remember after college, I went to the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas, and right after college, yeah, there you go, nice. The Eagles. There was a guy, I forget his name, but he ran this like class, and we had to meet with him weekly and write notes, and then he would help us with jokes, and then at the end he had a showcase. And this was in my early 20s, and I remember inviting my family or whatever. And I got some laughs. It wasn't like I was this hilarious guy, but it was just, like the very first time. And that's how I got started in it. And then I went to Second City in Chicago. I moved up there after college and did the Second City, and I started doing more stand up there. And then eventually just built up more of an act, and then kind of did what you did, moved to Los Angeles. There's Carl, the other co-founder. And then moved. That's okay. I moved to Los Angeles, and I've been acting and doing stand up. Took a little sabbatical on the stand up, but now I've been back for years, and nice. We're just enjoying bringing it to Catholics too. Like Catholic humor.
So expand on that. So where do you go with it? Like to churches or festivals or?
Yeah, we'll do whatever. Like we did last year we did Mater de la Rosa. It's a Catholic retreat center in Sierra Madre, and they had an annual fundraiser. So we did the stand-up comedy night for them, and we ended up helping them earn about $120,000. They said, wow. when it was all said and done. And we helped run the auction right after too. So they have these prizes to give away, and we get to use our improv ability and joke about the auction items and joke with the people. So it becomes it's an easy, fun night for parishes, churches, fundraisers to just hire us and let us do the work and have fun.
That's awesome. I love that. Carl, how about you? How'd you get into, by the way, welcome back, but the difficulties are over.
Oh, yes.
How did you get into stand-up?
Oh, basically, when I was at college, there was a big contest and I from certs, and I wound up winning my sophomore year, and never looked back. I just loved doing stand up, and started in Chicago. That's where I met Scott.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Maria, to you, why is this the age that you felt you connected the most or wanted to write for?
So I write chapter books, which are like just for kids who are just starting to read. So they're really targeted for about 5 to 10, 6 to 9, right in that age. And the reason I write for this age specifically is because kids this age are either being read to out loud by their parents or reading out loud to their parents. And so I secretly want to catechize parents and teach them about these awesome saints, and also just maybe like some simple ideas of ways to live the faith, just simple things to do as a family. I also have lots of examples of speaking about all this improv, like improving prayer. I feel like as Catholics, I'm a cradle Catholic, and I grew up, I knew the Hail Mary and the Our Father, but I didn't really know how to speak from my heart and to pray out loud with my kids. That's something that I have learned and put a lot of time and energy into learning as an adult. So I really love writing for this age because I feel like if kids can get it this young, that's such a blessing. But then also I'm hoping to kind of give a little bit of education and language for their parents as well.
Right. It's almost kind of like that Fat Albert, we're going to have fun and maybe learn a little something along the way.
Yep.
Which I've always loved. That's so cool. I just love the idea that it's kind of, it kind of brings it to modern day. Mm-hmm. Kids love escapism and they love travel. Time travel is just, come on, everybody, that's such a cool topic. I love that you equate it with the saints. We grew up down the street in my neighborhood from the Murrays, Brian Murray and Bill Murray, Joel Murray, there's 9 of them. And one of them's a nun, Sister Nancy. And she taught my little sister Katie at the Catholic high school in town, and I've gotten to know her really well. And I don't know if you know this or not, she does one-woman shows, and her first one she did Joan of Arc as a saint. And I remember talking to Brian Murray one time, who's a dear friend and also a sibling, so I guess he gets away with this. But he went, "How's it going?" He goes, "I went and saw Nancy in a play." I go, "How was she?" He goes, "I told her she was overacting." She's a nun playing a girl burning a steak. There's if you have a 17-year-old, there's no overacting. But that's great. That's really cool. That's really cool. Ryan, do you have a favorite song or genre?
So I guess it's kind of a crossover, a little aside stuff from the Catholic media and world. Sure. John Denver is my guy.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So when I was a kid, my mom would take us in a station wagon and drive us through the mountains in New England and blast John Denver. And my sister and I were not allowed to talk, do nothing else but listen to John Denver. Right. So I did not like him as a kid.
Oh, interesting.
And then, I don't know, 19, 20, 21, I moved out to California.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love John Denver.
That's very cool. It's funny. I remember my grandfather had a 8-track duo called Sandler and Young, and they just played it constantly. And it's just one of those things that to this day I still listen to, just because it kind of reminds you of things. I'm sure the car trips and all that kind of stuff. Yep. So that's very cool. Carl, what do you have a favorite memory or moment in stand-up that you're just I was meant to be here, or this is just a great night or day?
Oh, sure. And it actually has kind of a Catholic angle because
nice.
I was flown in for my Catholic grade school for their 100th anniversary. And I was always the class clown, always in trouble, stuck in the corner. And they flew me in for a 100th anniversary, and I performed a show as the entertainment for their big celebration. And it was back in the school cafeteria where I got in trouble half the time.
So you won. You came back a winner. That should be a Disney movie. That's fantastic. How about you, Scott?
Wait, what was the question?
Oh, just do you have a moment that was really memorable to you, or not an aha moment, but just a moment you're yeah, I love doing this, and this is just it just feels right, and I was meant to be here, or I'm helping people out by doing my comedy. I'm taking away from their troubles and whatnot for a little while.
Yeah. I can't do it as a specific moment, but when you finish a show and people come up to you that you don't know, and they're like,
Right.
that was really funny, we felt really good, and you know, they felt like there's a sense of community instead of like going up there and alienating the audience and making them feel uncomfortable. That's not our job.
No.
Yeah, our job is to bring everybody together, make them feel good about being themselves, about being Catholic, and just and that's probably one of the biggest moments, and that helps me keep doing this. It's like, yeah, this is good for us.
That's really cool. No, you do. You're kind of like, everybody's experiencing one common thing, and you hopefully that it's humor, which is, I don't know. I just think the coolest thing is to take somebody away from a tough day or being bullied or losing their job or whatever, and just kind of have a little break from that and just laughing. I just think there's nothing better than that.
I think we.
But now I live in Los Angeles, guys, and I go to Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills. I go to Good Shepherd. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you go to church in Beverly Hills? That's pretty fancy, huh? Pretty ritzy, Beverly Hills." I'm like, "Hey, our church is just like anybody else's church across America, okay? We tip our valets the same amount you tip your valets." Okay?
Recently, my agent said I had to lose weight. He said I wasn't hot enough. Right? And he's my State Farm agent.
It's an intimidating place. There's a Father Bruno here. Good Lord. Don't go to confession to Father Bruno. Putting your life in your hands. Where's Father Bruno? Hey, how you doing, Father Bruno? Ah, yeah! Bada bing, bada boom! I don't want to go to confession with that guy. He's like, Father Bruno, it's been 6 months since my last confession. What'd you do? What'd you do, huh? What did you do? Tell me, huh? Are you from the old country? Oh, you're from India. It's an older country. All right.
Okay. Blood pressure's good.
How's his heart?
Do you have a heart condition, Mr. Adler?
No, and I just had a checkup.
You did? That's good.
And when you got dizzy, did you feel your heart was beating funny?
Yes, but I was admiring my beautiful...
It's nice to hear after all these years. That's great. Did you forget to take any medications today?
Took them all.
What all did you take?
Lipitor, baby aspirin, Flomax.
Flomax?
Yes. Otherwise, I'd pee 40 times a day.
How long have you been taking the Flomax?
Not long. I only take it sporadically. I have to sneak it, actually.
Looks like he's gonna live.
Yes, my guess is Flomax is probably the culprit here. I suggest you stay off that for a few weeks, which apparently your wife will appreciate.
Yeah, really good for me.
And I suggest you rest quietly for the rest of the afternoon. No hanky-panky, Mrs. Adler.
No chance, I can assure you.
One hazelnut latte. Yeah. You know, the hazelnut, actually not a nut, it's a seed.
Wow.
Can anyone else name a well-known seed that's been masquerading as a nut?
Oh, dear God, let me... I just got another rejection letter. They said my writing was funny, just not Archie comic funny.
You know what, honey? I gotta get back to the hospital.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, the answer is the Brazil nut.
What's his question? What's more boring than him?
You know, the very fact that you oppose this makes me think I'm onto something.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Joe Mayo, nice place.
Thanks. George, can you do me a favor and stay by the phone in case anybody calls and needs directions?
Love to.
Thanks. Jerry?
Music?
Actually, can you keep an eye on the aquarium and make sure nobody taps on the glass?
Well, I could do that and the music.
Oh, no, don't worry about the music. Just have fun.
I was ready to get jiggy with it.
Sorry, we're late. I had to scrub the googly eyes off my bicycle traffic.
Well, let's get started. I'm supposed to have lunch with my son, Steve. We had a little fight last night before he left for a party. If anything ever happened to him, I'd be devastated.
We're in for a different Steve.
Caroline Channing is an alumnae of Wharton and also the brains behind a thriving new dessert bar in Brooklyn. And she is here to tell us how she did it. Oh, also, whoever keeps writing "wash me" in the back of my car, there's no R in wash. And here's Maria.
All right. Hey, I got a quick question for you, Pat.
Yeah.
Since we just saw some of that video. So you've done a lot of stuff. I mean, you're one of those guys that we like, I know, I've seen him. He's in everything, you know?
Right.
But you got to work, you know, when I see that one clip, I'm like, Baldwin, Streep, Finn.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. But let me ask you this. What was it like working with, you know, Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep? Do you remember that day? You know,
how it wasn't even a day. It was a week. It was a week.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, 5 days. Nancy Myers directed that and did a great job. And she works like 28 setups each take. So let me do this. Let's cut away to a couple of our sponsors, and I'm going to come back and finish the answer. How's that sound? We call that a teaser in the business. I want to thank Run Napolera, Cal Lutheran, and People's Ads.
I looked around at my other colleagues and I realized everybody had an MBA, and that's when I knew if I wanted to go any further in this company, I needed to further my education.
The Executive MBA at Cal Lutheran is really a chance to further your education, but in an atmosphere that's conducive to your worlds.
PR, marketing, statistics, metrics, analytics, all those things that I learned in the program, I'm able to apply.
It was just great to have faculty who have the real world experience, but also understand how to impart that knowledge to folks in a classroom. It's an accomplishment that you can share with your existing network to help you kind of advance to the next level.
It actually got me into an interview for a different position.
I got promoted to the director of programming and operations for the whole music department.
You're going to walk back into your job or into a new job and really kind of have a wider view of what the possibilities are. To me, that's the number one thing.
Hi, Lori. Who are you?
Lori Chikorius, CEO of the Greenbrier Companies.
Awesome. And what do you think of Improv+Ability today?
We had a great afternoon. You know, what was fantastic was all of the engagement by everyone that was in the room. And what was really super was to see how people were working together and the focus on us really listening to each other. Turns out that's a skill that not everyone has, and we could really continue to work on that. So listening is very important.
All right, we're back. So Scott, it's funny. One of the things, and you guys might get this in Hollywood, people are always like, "Oh, who's a jerk in Hollywood?" or "Who do you work with that wasn't great?" I've been beyond lucky to start my career with George Wendt from the South Side of Chicago in Second City, and I believe it's Christ the King Parish. So shout out to Christ the King. With Robbie Benson directing it. And from then on, it's been just amazing to work with people. Patty Heaton is wonderful and Catholic and does so much for charity. But Meryl, I think to me is the best actress I've ever seen. And the fact that she was so nice and so beautiful because she was just, she was kind of glowing. She was just a really stunning person. And I remember there was like at one point, they were changing a camera lens and I heard singing and I'm like, who's got a radio on the set? It just seems so odd. And then as I look over, it's Meryl and she was just reading your lines, singing to herself, and it was like an angel. I'm like, good, really pretty and great actress, and now you sing? Whatever. But no,
He does
I
it
remember
all.
at lunch one time, after lunch, she goes, Pat, what'd you have for lunch? I said, oh, I got the lasagna. And she goes, oh, I was going to get that. And I was like, you could snap a finger. Anybody, Meryl Streep, you would get you lasagna if you wanted it. But no, it was kind of goosebumpy and just a threat. And Steve Martin came to the set. So that was another, he was in the movie also. And I have every one of his albums and just surreal to meet him. So that was great. So let's keep the discussion going. Maria, okay, how do you balance, you're a mom, how do you balance the writing and being a mom and all that?
Yeah. I am very, very blessed and very, very busy because I am the mom of 4 daughters.
Okay, wow.
And they're less than 4 years apart from each other. We have twins in the middle.
Okay.
So they keep me super busy. And what I have learned is that when God calls you to do something, and I have been called to do this, he provides the time. And so there have been seasons where I've got the inspiration and I am writing and everything seems to be falling into place. But then I've also come across seasons when things are like my family's just demanding of me. And that takes priority because I'm a mom first. Right. And so I feel very blessed then that I am able to just recognize that there are times in my life when other things come first. And then, you know, when I take my time, when I pray and I give it all to God, and if he wills it to be done, it gets done. And it's been a really nice balance in my life. I feel really grateful to be at a season when I can still be very available to my kids, but they're all school age now. And so I have time during the day. And so I feel like really, really great to be able to be doing this, which is work and good. But then, you know, when I have a sick kid and I get called to go pick him up from school, I'm still able to do that without, you know, the obligations of a full-time workload.
Love that. Hey, I got to ask, because everybody asks, at least me, you know, oh, do your kids watch your stuff? So do your kids read?
They do.
I hope your kids read. But
hopefully they read, yeah.
I have accomplished that much as a mother, yes.
Nice. You have literate children.
I do. And I have read all of my books to my kids.
Oh, cool.
They're big fans. My oldest, who is out of the technical age range for my books, she is one of my pre-readers, my beta readers. She reads it. She tells me if it's good or if it's boring because
I love she gives you notes.
Honest. Yeah.
Do you pay her to do that?
I pay her in 3 meals a day and a warm bed to sleep in.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Scott and Ryan and Carl? Do you have kids, or do you a significant other come to see you guys, or?
I don't have a girlfriend at the moment. When I did, she came to the shows a lot and she was helpful. I used to talk about her in my act a lot. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's not why she left, is it?
Maybe that's maybe she broke up for it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out. I can't. do
right.
it.
Exactly. I'm
Too
not
much
that
comedy.
Right. Maybe it's more material. Are anything to that thing for Scott and Carl? Is anything like taboo or anything you don't really deal with or venture into the world of?
You mean with the material?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we just we always aim to have material that's like completely proper for all ages and stuff. So, you know, it's pretty easy to avoid doing, you know, dirty jokes that cover a lot of other things that are, you know, like you said, taboo. We just avoid that so everybody has a great time, guaranteed.
Right, but Carl says all ages, but we say 18 and over because the jokes aren't bad. But if you're under 18, you'd probably, even some of the references, even though they're clean, you just wouldn't get them just because.
Eisenhower, stuff like that.
Yeah. We have a lot of Eisenhower references.
It's mostly Eisenhower. It's like Hamilton, the Broadway play, but stand up with Eisenhower. No, I'm the same. I don't know why. I think maybe just because of the people that I came up admiring, you know, Bob Newhart and I think I've almost I did a podcast and the guy goes, this is going to be so cool doing a podcast with you because you don't swear. And I said, yeah, I mean, I don't really cuss. It's just not, I just think it's a crutch. I think it's an easy out. And that's just me. I don't care if people do it, and that's fine. But I just chose not to. And then he started the podcast and he swore before he introduced me. I'm like, now we're explicit again on iTunes. So yeah, I don't want to say it's harder. I just think I did an improv show in Phoenix, Arizona it was all, back to Carl, it was all ages, and it was improv, and it was so cool that it was hilarious, but there were literally like 1-year-olds there. I mean, they didn't get half of the stuff because I'm pretty heady, but it was just really cool to see family can go out and see something without being worried about something inappropriate. So that's really cool. Ryan, I have to ask you, do you have a favorite saint?
It's a great question. I don't know that I have at this stage in my life a favorite saint, but one that got really close to me the first time I went last year on pilgrimage to Italy. We went to Assisi. We had 2 nights, and
very cool.
St. Francis. I mean, it's like, he's just like walking right there. As a nature guy and animals, I mean, that is right up my alley. That's where I experience God. So
that's really cool. I recently found out there's a Saint Vitalis of Assisi. And I was like, wow. I mean, how holy was Assisi? Like, I was like, what's up with the water there? Because everybody's coming out of there pretty saintly. So very cool. Love that. How about Maria? Do you have how do you pick a saint?
So I love how Ryan just said that St. Francis got close to him. I have been pursued by all of these saints. It's really a very, very cool process for the saints to kind of come to me and let me know what story and what message they have for kids. So I said my first 3 books are out, and I'm working on number 4, who is St. Joan of Arc.
There we go.
And so I was praying and praying. I wanted to do another female saint to try to keep it balanced, and I wasn't sure which one. And then my grandparents gifted me this statue that they had in their yard for like the last 40 years. And my grandmother was like, I want you to have this today. And so she gives it to me, and it's this like peasant girl. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Grandma. And I take it home and I do a Google image search because I'm like, is this someone? She's like, it's not Mary. I don't know who it is. And it is a peasant Joan of Arc, which you don't see those very often. You usually see her in her armor. And so it's from before, she went to war. And I was like, okay, I got it. I hear you, Joan of Arc. I will talk about you. So it's very fun.
Was it like Antiques Roadshow? You found out it was worth $40 million. You're like, oh my gosh.
In the armor.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Exactly. It was just,
vintage.
Just some random statue. And like my grandmother even called, she said, I've always loved her. It's just a girl though. It's not Mary. I'm not sure who it is. It's just a girl, but I've always loved her and I want you to have her. I'm like, okay, thanks for the girl, and then turns out it was St. Joan of Arc, and waiting for just that moment for my grandmother to just be like, it's yours now. So
that's so cool. I love that. I love that. Hey, Carl, do you have like a favorite comedian per se?
Definitely. Ray Romano is great Catholic guy, really funny. And I actually met him like a year into his sitcom. And when he signed his autograph, I told him I was a comic, and he's like, hey, get on stage until you make a lot of money, then give it all to your wife. Nice. So I guess that's good rule to live by.
Yeah. I remember he just had either twins or triplets.
Yeah.
And he had a joke. He came on stage and he goes, I've been really busy. I haven't been able to write new jokes. And everyone kind of like booed a little bit. And he goes, okay, this is something that works, that I've been trying out and my kids love it. And he literally just held up a bunch of keys and went like this. So it just cracked me up. How about you, Scott?
A lot of my favorite comedians are people I've worked with or I know. They might not be the biggest names, but Tom Clark, Mary Gallagher, Brian Kiley, Andy Ryder. They're almost like my friends.
I know Brian.
Yeah,
he's great. How about you, Ryan? What about other than John Denver?
Well, it was pretty cool. I did get a chance several years ago Paul Sorvino, I got a chance to accompany him on the piano at a gig in North Hollywood. And it was one night, and he was doing a couple songs, and he's like, "Hey, Paul needs a pianist, next week for a few nights." So did a couple of opera songs with him, and what a voice! I never knew that he was an opera singer.
That's so cool. Again, like Meryl Streep, like so many things. Was it Vitello's by any chance?
That's exactly the place. Yeah.
It's a cool joint. It's a great Italian place. Maybe there'll be a sponsor soon. Maria, how about you? Do you have any authors that you just kind of look up to or like their style besides Seuss?
So I actually just finished reading Saint Faustina's Diary, and so I'm gonna shout out to the saints whom I love. Every saint that I get to know,
nice.
I am just like more and more in love with them. And so I really love picking up the writings of the saints. I used to think that they were like out of my league, and I wasn't qualified to read them or process or understand them. And the more that I do, the more I know I'm missing a ton, and I've got a lot of work to do, but it's very cool.
What do you have like what would you say is like one of your favorite or best things about being an author?
So my favorite thing as a children's author specifically is that I get to go into schools and share my books with kids, and seeing them like get excited about it is so amazing. I was recently in Cincinnati doing school visits, and there was a young lady who came up to me afterwards, and she told me that she wants to be an author when she grows up, and because of me, she believes that she can, and it's just like, that's the best. But the absolute like number one, no question, highlight best moment of my life as an author is when my kids went to school and told their teachers that I am their favorite author. So,
oh, wow. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And they probably got an A, I'm sure, as you would think. That's great.
Yeah. And then the teacher calls and I get to do school visits there too, which is fun,
Oh, nice.
Like, my mom's coming to my classroom.
Yeah, that's great. So I don't know why. It was a big part. My dad used to read to us. And I'm one of 6 kids, and it was a big deal to me to read to the kids. Let's pick out 2 books, and we'd read to them when they were little and as they got older. And I remember my son Ryan, I would read to, and I'm in the biz, so there's really no off switch. And we would read. And it'd be like, the bear came in. Hey, where's all my food? And the chipmunk said, I don't even know. Whatever. Just did all this stuff. And one day I'm doing it, and I'm thinking, man, I'm Dad of the Year. Like award's gonna be not Amazon guy's gonna show up, and he reaches out and puts his hand over my mouth, and he goes, "You don't have to do the celebration." And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I got the hook. And then, kind of like Carl, then my comeuppance was he had asked me to do, he signed me up for read a story. The parents would read a story to the kids at the library in like whatever, 1st or 2nd grade. And so he asked me if I would do it. And so I got to do it one time. And I'm sitting there and I had the book. He picked up 2 books and all the kids kind of march in and they sit on these little staircases and, kind of like a tiered stages. And my son comes down and goes, Dad, do the voices. He gave me the green light, like, yeah, swing for the fences on this one. Like, wait, guys, the show's going to start in a minute. So,
how did it go?
It went really well. It went great. Come on now.
Yeah, I bet they loved it.
It went super well. And the kids, that's one of the neatest things I think is that they've come to sets and they've seen me in things. And like I said, a lot of Disney things. That a Disney movie called Space Buddies up in Vancouver. And this is so Hollywood. But there's 7 6-month-old purebred golden retrievers. And I was like, what happens to these dogs? They're amazing 6-month-old dogs. They said, well, they get adopted and they're like a huge deal in Hollywood. Like stars want them, celebrities want them, the head of Disney all these people want them. And I'm like, really? And they go, I guess that makes sense. Like Tom Cruise, all these people. And I said, well, how do you get them? How do you figure that out? And they said, well, it's on the call sheet, which is kind of the list of the people in order of their whatever importance in the show. And in this case, I was number 2 on the call sheet. So she's like, you get your choice because the the first kid doesn't want one of the dogs, so you can have any dog you want. I'm like, I got 3 kids and a dog at home. I'm good. And I told my wife, she's like, a purebred golden? Are you kidding? Get it. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I sat there for 3 weeks and played with all. You could be having the worst day. I didn't sleep well. The coffee was weak. 7 golden retriever puppies just falling all over each other. And there was one that always came out to me and loved people. And that's the one we got. So they showed a movie at school, and she was the showcase. Not me, of course, but no, it was really cool. So we got a golden retriever. She wasn't the smartest. She was Canadian, but still gorgeous, great dog. All right, we're going to take a break for a second, but stay tuned. Thank you, by the way, for everyone for being here. I think you guys are awesome. This is going so great. Special message coming up from Sister Nancy Uselman, a daughter of St. Paul and St. Pauline sister, who runs retreats for us professionals in media in Boston and Los Angeles. Let's hear it from Sister Nancy.
Greetings, everyone, at the Catholic People podcast. It is great to be with you. I'm just sharing a little bit, and my special greetings to those who are being interviewed on this podcast, some good friends of ours. And as a daughter of St. Paul and the director of the Pauline Center for Media Studies in Los Angeles, we want to invite you to participate in some great events that we have coming up, especially the Media Apostle Retreat. It's for people who are media professionals and Catholics who are in the secular or Catholic media production in any way, in any area of creativity, to participate in this series, this weekend retreat that will help you really integrate your life of faith with your everyday work. It's called Media Apostle Retreat, and one in Boston area in August of this year, 2024, and in Malibu, California in 2025. So go to connect.pauline.org/mediaapostle, and you will find information about these retreats and sign up today. Also go to bemediamindful.org, and you will see all our film and TV reviews, as well as articles on theology and pop culture and media mindfulness, catechesis. How do we live and integrate our faith within our media use? So thank you so much to John Lockhart. Blessings to you and to all those who work with you and those who are on this show today. God bless you, and sending my prayers and blessings to each of you. God bless.
It also makes it awkward though when I want to ask a woman out, like big skating rough, because I'll be like, hey, I'll swing by, pick you up on my bike. And they're like, ooh, Harley? I'm like, no, Huffy.
I love my kids. They're very expensive. The older they get, the more expensive they get, right? People are putting pressure on me with my son. You know, are you saving up for his college yet? I haven't even paid for my college, man.
I just had my 14th wedding anniversary. Not bad, huh? Not bad. Not bad. Didn't know what to get her, man. You run out of ideas. You run out of ideas of what to get her. I didn't know what to get her. I asked her best friend, what should I get her? And her best friend gave me a great piece of advice. Her best friend said, get her something she would not get for herself. And I said, that makes sense, right? Get her something she would not get for herself. So I got her a job, and
There are over 4,000 students at California Lutheran University.
Each with our own unique backgrounds, upbringings, and beliefs.
We don't look the same.
Or think the same.
But we do share one thing in common. We're open. Open to learning about the world.
Open to exploring new ideas.
And open to discovering our purpose.
Because when you're open,
the world is open to you.
a tour of the floats before the parade, and the float barn party with the Throops.
The Throops. Are the Throops here tonight, you guys?
Yeah.
Show us your hand.
The Throops.
Okay.
Oh, the Throops.
These are the people. I would party with the Throops.
Yes.
Look at these guys.
I met Angela Throop before the show. She was lovely.
I have partied with the Throops. I have a T-shirt that says I partied with the Throops.
Angel Throop.
You guys are going to provide those for the people.
It's no normal float party. This is big.
With Mario Lopez. So, yes.
Or Mary Hart. Or Mary Hart.
Starting at 6:50.
Okay. 650. Do we hear 650 for the Rose Parade? Rose Parade. 750. Do we hear 750?
Now we're talking. You get to hang out with the Throops,
The
you
Throops.
guys. I would pay $7.50 to hang out with the Throops and skip the whole thing at the.
Oh, right here, 750 right here.
See, they know.
They've gotten to know this couple. They want to hang out with them now. 750. 850 for
Tommy! Tommy's back in the game, you guys. Wow.
Tommy, you're cleaning up here, buddy. 850, 950.
He's got a great pension.
He just goes to events.
Yes.
950 for
right there.
Party with the Throops. 950 to the gentleman right there. Oh, Tom, you're not going to let him get away with that, are you, Tom? 950 from here. The middle table. 1,050. Do we hear 1,000?
1,050.
1,050. Some margin.
Tom.
Yeah.
The Throops have some great stories, and if you go on this with them, you'll get to hear the great stories.
Yes, he captured Bin Laden.
Yes. Yes. So you see, you get to hang with the Throops.
1,050. All true stories, folks. All true stories.
Hey, Bill, I heard you guys had Improv+Ability in to do an event with you guys at Greenbrier. What did Greenbrier think about the whole day?
Well, Improv+Ability was a fantastic learning experience, and I think it really developed our team with new skills that they can adapt and apply once we get back into the workforce in the coming weeks.
And we're back. Catholic laughter. That had me laughing. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
I'll tell you right now, auctions are hard. They're really hard. You're just trying to get money from people. And we did one. I got roped into it. Our Catholic grammar school here, St. Francis de Sales, Sister Ella Marie was the nun, and she's from Ireland. So she's like, Mel, you could do the auction. And I was like, oh. And I pictured I could give blood and do everything. I go to church 5 times a day, all this stuff. And I'd get to heaven and it'd be like, you said no to a nun? Yeah, you can just turn around. So, and she was Irish. So I had to do it.
Well, Pat, I'll tell you what, though, it's much easier. Like, I was up there. That was Mary Gallagher and Tom Clark. And when the three of us have other people to play off of, and kind of, it's almost like improv. We just yes-anded everything, and it helps out a lot. You
can tell it's like a radio show, but yes, I've done it single. It's a friend of mine, Pete Holney. His kid was trying to get into kindergarten, and I literally said, well, first of all, they should have, because they're great Catholics and they do a lot of volunteering for the school and church. But I was like, I need the Holneys here in the parish because I need to do the auction with him. I can't do it alone. So.
Hey, I have a quick question about Improv+Ability. So I know you've affected people's lives, especially at work, and I'm sure they've taken some of that home with them outside of work. What is the highest compliment you feel like you've been paid when you did when you do Improv+Ability at these corporations?
It's really cool. We come in and, like I said, just bring the tenets of improv to the people. And it's funny, as adults, people tend to say no a lot. They say no to things. And I do this game, and improv games from the 40s in Second City were all formed in the 40s. Improv's been around since the cave people, just by doing, I can't get this rock, so I'll get this rock. That's improv. But it's adults just kind of lose the grasp of it a little bit. It's my idea and that's it. So I do this game where I have people line up in a semicircle and we count 1 to 10. And I'll do it. We do it with your kids, do it with grammar school kids, high school kids, college kids. And they can't do it sequentially and they can't point and look. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And I was doing it for a bunch of deans at a university. And I'm like, it's going to take about a minute, 2 minutes. And I did it. And we're at about 15 minutes. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And we did it. And they overlapped at like number 6. And the one boss or head dean was like, let's try it again, Helen. 1. I was like, hey. Let's let Helen say 1. I've been saying 1 every time. I'm like, well, then maybe that's the problem. So it's about giving up your power and accepting things. And if I accept your idea, then you're all of a sudden like, wow, okay, this guy is, I trust you more. I feel more a kinship to you and more of a connection. And if it goes somewhere, great, we learn something. If it doesn't, then that's okay. I still gain the trust from you, or we find something along the way. So it's a total win. But that's what Improv+Ability does. It comes to businesses and basically brings the idea of gosh, I had one guy really quick. I had one guy, we did a show for a restaurant group down in Florida. And the next day it's fast casual. It's called 4 Rivers. It's fantastic barbecue if you ever go. And the one gentleman who was, we went to the restaurant before the airport, and it's like a cafeteria kind of, and the guy behind the hey, that was you. You're the guy from yesterday. I was like, oh, yeah, how's it going? He goes, you were great, man. I was like, thanks a lot. Thanks for doing it. It was really cool. I think it went well. He goes, yeah, me and my wife fight all the time. I mean, just nonstop. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. And he goes, after you said things like say yes to things, I was like, all right. I came home. My wife says, you want to watch a movie? I was like, last thing I want to do in the world is watch a movie. And I said, sure, I'd love to, hon. We sat on the couch, watched a movie, had a bottle of wine. We shared it, talked, giggled a little. Movie wasn't that great, but she goes, this is a great night, and gave me a peck on the cheek. And I was like, we've been getting along great. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't save marriages, but close.
It's changing lives.
Yes,
you're changing lives.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, one more quick question, because I know John would want me to ask this. You were roommates with Chris Farley at one time. Could you tell us a little bit something about him that we'd be surprised to learn? Like something positive that you knew about?
There was a lot of positive about Chris. It's almost noble to me, if that makes sense, that he loved to make people laugh. We took a class called Philosophy of Humor taught by Father Naus at Marquette University. And he gave us a thing. One of my favorite things is my kids, a couple Christmases ago, one of their asks for a Christmas present was if they could get this prayer framed. And it's called the Clown's Prayer. And it's really cool. You know what I'm talking about, Scott?
No,
check it out.
I've never heard. That's why I was like, what?
It's so cool. It's amazing. And Chris and I still have it in my wallet, and Chris, we both had it. We would say the prayer before auditions and things. But I think the thing about Chris is people didn't realize how Catholic he was and how important family was to him. And we'd go to church a lot, like nonstop. And even in Chicago, we would go, and Stephen Colbert is a dear friend of ours. And the 3 of us would go to church. And I don't know if you know this one, Maria, and I don't know if you guys did this. It's very hit or miss. But did you guys have St. Blaise when you were kids?
We did.
You did? Okay. Carl, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The patron saint of throats. Yeah.
Exactly, Carl. Some people look at me like I'm making up something. I'm like, no. They take 2 candles, and so so Chris Farley and Stephen Colbert and I would go to church, and at mass they would bless our throats, and we thought it would help our voiceover career. Like we literally, now we're going to talk with golden pipes that are blessed. But that's the thing about Chris. And the other thing I'll say really quick is that Chris and I were in his apartment one time, and we went to 7-Eleven, which is below it, to get mac and cheese. And we got 4 boxes, which probably was a little too much. But we couldn't afford Kraft. Who might be a new sponsor. And we had to get generic mac and cheese, which is awful. And we made it, and the noodles were kind of darker, and it was just kind of whatever. But we were eating it, and kind of silence, and Chris goes, someday I want to become so famous. And I'm thinking Malibu house, Ferrari, something like that. And he goes, that I can go to a children's hospital and they know who I am and I can cheer them up. And I'm like, there you go. If you want to know something about somebody and somebody's personality, and he tried. He prayed. He went to church so much, and he just had an addiction. And I still talk to his mom and his family, and I miss him every day. But yeah, he was also just like the best at anything. I mean, comedy wise, just you're like, oh God, you just hit one out of the park, and then he would hit one into like the moon. You know, he was just like, sorry, that was too funny. I didn't mean to embarrass you.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
I know I want to say one thing. Can we just all maybe say where we can find each other? I know you can find us on Catholic Laughter on Instagram, and we have a podcast on YouTube, and CatholicLaughter.com is our website.
And on Facebook too.
And on Facebook too. And the rest of you guys?
Thanks, Scott. Go ahead.
So,
sorry, Maria.
I'll jump in. So you can find me at mariarileyauthor.com. You can order autographed books there. Also contact me if anybody is interested in school visits. I can do those virtually, and I can also do classroom discounts if teachers want to teach the books in the classroom. And then I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn and Substack at Maria Riley Author.
Awesome. Ryan?
Yeah, so if you ryanmascilak.com. So there it is. .com. Everything you need is to be there, and love to come to your church and do a night of worship and anything else. So.
That's really cool. I got to tell you, like, we did a little mini rehearsal and Ryan played, and it was like 30 seconds and it was goosebumpy. So you're so great. So awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. For me, it's Improv+Ability.com. You can go to the website. We come all over the country. And man, it's a really cool thing. Like I said, when you get, everybody's kind of like this in the beginning, like, well, is this comedy? I'm not that funny. And then at the end, they're like, we had a motivational speaker last week. This was amazing. You were fun. That's my impression of every client, by the way. but they get a kick out of it, and they come away with something, and that's what Improv+Ability brings. So I want to thank Maria, Scott, Ryan, and Carl. You guys are awesome. Next time, I'm going to get all your confirmation names. That's my new goal. What are they, really quick?
Hope.
I don't know mine.
What?
Paul.
God,
mine.
I can't remember.
Gabriel. I'm going to give you Timothy.
It's probably like Bill or something. Yeah.
It's Big Bill. Carl, Ryan.
Gabriel.
Paul.
Nice. And I'm James. After my grandfather. So thank you guys again. Hey, Ryan, will you do us a favor and maybe play a little ditty on the axe as long as you got it?
Love to. I'm going to keep it in the theme. I'm going to keep it in the theme for you, Maria. So the song everybody should know. Hail, Holy Queen, enthroned above, O Maria. Hail, Mother of mercy and of love, O Maria. Triumph, O ye cherubim, sing with us, ye seraphim. Heaven and earth resound the hymn. Salve, salve, salve Regina. Our life, our sweetness here below, O Maria. Our hope in sorrow and in woe, O Maria. Triumph, O ye cherubim, sing with us, ye seraphim. Heaven and earth resound the hymn. Salve, salve.